Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Adriana de Moura.
Hi.
And you have your four-legged friend with us.
Yes, he's my ride or die with me all the time. So he won't leave
I'm
me even at the time of an interview.
I mean, he is welcome here. He can soothe you. I mean, like, do I dare even ask how this season is going for you?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions. Yes, it's been quite intense.
I mean, we're kind of in the thick of it now, right?
Yes.
Listen, you're an OG. Like, where would you say season five ranks for you in terms of like your most enjoyable seasons and your least enjoyable?
Um, well, I've enjoyed this season the most up to now, right? In many ways, I feel like I could show things that I've done before that I didn't talk about in the past, like my songs. And so I was actually enjoying this season, I think, the most until this whole thing started to unravel. Yeah.
Until this Bahamas trip from hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, well, listen, it's you and Julia went to the store, the bodega, everyone's now accusing you guys of witchcraft. You went, you gave out the stones, Kiki and Guerdy fell backwards and they hurt your foot, they broke your foot. Like, let's just start there before we get into everything else that happens. Like when, they fell on your foot and you hurt your foot and then everyone walks away, like why, I guess right there, did no one believe that your foot was actually hurt? Like they just all kind of rolled their eyes.
Yeah, that was kind of like upsetting to me that people just didn't, care enough and just walked away as if nothing. Um, you know, Only Julia, of course, and Nicole, really concerned. And I think that says a lot, doesn't it?
Do you think there's like a double standard in this group? Like if someone else had hurt their foot or was, having this, like, do you think that there would have been more sympathy?
Yeah, there's definitely a double standards. I see that, and it depends who it is. If it's convenient for them to, shower them with attention, they would do that. But to me, I felt like certain people didn't really care. Yes. Yeah.
Well, even before everything that like ultimately happened, it seemed like, Alexia and Marysol, you guys just weren't on the same page during this trip. Like, was this, did something even prior to the whole incident, which we're going to talk about, like, do you think this was like the culmination of like 10 years? Like, has this been building up with Marysol and Alexia for like the past 10 years when you guys have been off the air?
Well, that's a good question because I never had any issues with them in the sense of I've never done anything to them in all these years of friendship. In my eyes, I've been nothing but supportive, and even when they drift away after we wrapped season three, I stayed from a distance, but yet loyal to them and still consider them my good friends, right? And so that's a little bit to me surprising how they're coming for me this season because I never really did anything to them. But I guess underneath, the surface, there was more to it than I realized.
I mean, it seems like you can do no right in their eyes now.
Yes, whatever I do is never good enough. I apologize. I get down on my knees. I apologize again, and they won't let go of the bone. And I feel like they keep kicking me when I'm down. And I call them fair weather friends because when I was married on top of my game and I felt like they had something to take, then they were my friends. Now they feel like I'm less relevant, so then they can. It's Julia said it really well. It's like the jungle's law. Let's attack the weaker and go for it with no remorse, just because they can. Others
And
think, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, and why do they see you as weaker now? Just because? Why?
Because I don't have a husband, because they feel like I'm just alone. And so therefore they feel like I'm more vulnerable, which I am in a way. I went through a lot emotionally. So maybe I am feeling a little more vulnerable mentally, and so they sense it. It's very predatory, actually.
I mean, you guys have been through so much, like divorces, breakups, like deaths of spouses, literally. Why do you think? I mean, are you shocked that now when you're down that this is happening from Alexia and Marysol?
I'm very shocked, because throughout the years, I was there for them, whatever it was, I was there for them. And again, I never did anything to them. So I am shocked, because why would they turn on me? I don't understand. And so obviously they have alternative motives, ulterior motives, that again, they see me weaker, vulnerable, and then let's attack.
Yes. So you did have this injury with your foot and you were trying to explain it in, Alexia mentioned, it was an accident and you said, yes, I know, but accidents have consequences, as you know, with Frankie. And we see what has happened next. So, like, what was going through your mind at that time when this statement came out?
Well, I was very saddened by the whole twist of that. I first and foremost, I understand that was a bad analogy, right? I shouldn't have said it, I shouldn't have done it, and I regret it. And I'll take those words back if I could, because my intention was the opposite. So if you look at the scene carefully, we started the scene with me thanking her, being grateful that we had such a nice moment in the boat when we were going there, and everybody for a minute forgot to fight, and everybody's dancing, singing, and it felt like a healing moment for the entire group. And whatever beef we had, we put it aside for a minute, for 2 minutes 30 seconds of the song. So it felt so good. And even though I'm there with my foot's throbbing and it's hot, and I'm still trying to be part of the group. And so it felt like, wow, it's when you put in a lot of work and you have something out that makes people happy, then I felt happy and grateful. So I was thanking her. Like, my state of mind was, wow, thank you for liking the song. It means a lot to me, because I put a lot of work into it. And then she